I'd like to talk a little bit about communities and economics of communities, and mainly the predicament we find ourselves in here in the US, and as a matter of fact, throughout the world, as the capitalist system is spread around the world, to say nicely. Um, the problem that we have is, let's say there's a community of 100 individuals who all have to work in order to sustain themselves. Let's say they're farming, doing what have you, just to sustain. Now, let's say industry comes along and allows for such things as tractors, combines, and anything else to make their life easier. Therefore, no longer we need 50 people to till the land. It's enough to have 5. The same amount of work gets done, except it gets done with less people. So now there is 45 people on the sidelines in our oversimplified example. Now those 45 people on the sidelines should be able to reap the benefits of the labor because no less product is being produced. Everything is as it was up until that industry has helped out. So in essence, what should happen is the other 55 people should work less hours of the day and involve the 45 unemployed in order to make it fair hourly wise and wage wise. Wages are basically a reflection of what is produced, or should be. So therefore now roughly the entire population of our small community, 100, should work half the hours. So either 4 hours a day or 2.5 days a week, depending on however you want to look at it. And everybody is employed, everybody gets the same benefits, thereby the same wage, because the benefits have not changed. We're producing the same amount. As we get smarter and smarter, we can have less and less people working, more and more robots. Eventually we get to the point where now all we need to do as a population is go to work once a day to get the same amount of work done and have the same amount of benefits, leaving all this free time for things like creativity, arts, crafts, music, get-togethers, things that are unknown to us, such as enjoying life. They're all very possible, but unfortunately we choose not to do that. What we choose to do is we choose to label those 45 people who are unemployed as such, unemployed, and ones that are incapable of finding a job. A lot of times we say, hey, you need to get more educated so you get more jobs. But there is not more jobs to be had. The jobs do not exist. They're not needed. So what happens? So these 45 people that need to have the employment because they need to have the money in our system, they start creating jobs which are not needed. They start creating things, items which we do not need. In essence, our economy turns from demand-driven to supply-driven. We are driven by the supply. We create more and more supply because we have a system in which we need to create more and more supply in order to exist. And now we force that supply up on ourselves. We have to commercialize the hell out of it to the point where we cannot make a step in our daily lives without seeing a commercial. Everything is a commercial for something, including our health. Taking care of our health is over-commercialized. You need to buy this drug, that drug. Without getting into it, obviously you can picture anything you've noticed around you is for the purpose of it being sold to you. Not because you need it. It's not demand-driven. Demand would be if you, for example, needed groceries, you'd go to a grocery store. You would not need a huge billboard of what that grocery store is. You would not need to have one try to outdo the other because you're just going to buy something you need. You know where the grocery store is. It just needs to say groceries. That's all. But unfortunately, this is not the case. You are, in order to keep our people employed and paid, we need to force these products onto them. let's try to picture a system which is as the one I earlier described. We have the items which are needed. We work once a day, for example, or even less to create those items. And now all this free time we have is used for the purpose of creative thought, arts, crafts. And now we create things out of want. We create things because we desire to create things. And we don't have the need to try to peddle those things onto other human beings. We create them, and those who enjoy them will come and enjoy the things we create, therefore allowing for a much more enjoyable world, much more enjoyable surroundings. We can take that business aspect of our lives, which is not our nature, completely out of the system. We can start doing crazy things like walking on the street and meeting one another, talking to one another without having to try to sell one another on the business idea that we're trying to peddle at that particular time. In my opinion, that would be a lot more relaxed way of existing than the one we are currently in.